tell you what I like about that I quit smoking 2 months ago is talking into a microphone. I don't wheeze anymore.
Yeah.
No more wheezing? How long did you smoke?
30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad was a fucking 2-3 pack a day Marlboro Reds, dude.
1-2 packs a day, and I went from Marlboro Reds to Marlboro Lights to Marlboro Southern Cuts, which is kind of like in between a light and a red.
I know nothing about nothing about it, dude.
I was a
cigarette
smoker, so like when I was 10 or 11 years old, I told my mom, like, cause she we were in the car waiting for her, like you always have to do when a motherfucker smokes. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's outside the car smoking, and we're like, come on, man, we ready to go, you know? And she gets in the car, and I was like, she stinks. I was like, I'll never smoke cigarettes, and she was like, I hope you don't. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't until I was like 21. Like I smoke weed, I smoke some Black and Milds, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I never smoked cigarettes. I didn't touch them.
Military got me.
Really?
Military got me hooked on cigarettes.
And then once I started when I was like 20, 21, and then I smoked till I was like 25. Then I quit till I was like 28. Then I started smoking again when I was like 30, and then I fucking quit again. And now I've been vaping for the last 3 or 4 years, and it's. I don't want to say it's better than cigarettes.
You traded one vice for another.
You trade one vice for another, but I definitely I remember when I quit smoking cigarettes the last time. I think it was like Easter Sunday, and I woke up and dude, I was hacking, wheezing.
Yeah.
I've never felt like that off a vape. You know what I mean? But I don't like the vape because, like, I'll fucking.
It's accessible. It's easy. It's
I mean,
quiet.
dude, yeah, everywhere.
Dude, everywhere.
I'll fucking go to the bathroom in the movies, dude, and fucking.
I've heard. I've spoken
know what
to
I
a
mean?
couple people that said when they started smoking cigarettes, it's like they didn't start until they were like late in their 20s, and it was because they were like waiters or waitresses, because you get an extra break if you're a smoker.
Yeah.
So people would go outside and they would just like have to like fake smoke while just to get a little break. And
My wife was a bartender.
Yeah.
And I mean, she would light a cigarette while she's working the bar, and the thing is, cigarette would burn out before she'd
get back to it.
get back to it. You
Yeah.
know? For her, she was more of a social smoker.
Okay.
Well, it's like you said, like the military got you. Like what got me was we started working at this countertop shop, and the same shit he was talking about was like me and him didn't smoke cigarettes, so we fucking working the whole day, and then you look over and there's like 3 or 4 dudes standing there smoking a cigarette, chilling, and nobody's fucking with them. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna grab a Black and Mild and go chill with them for fucking 10 minutes and smoke this cigarette or smoke a Black and Mild. And then before you knew it, I was like, man, let me get one of them cigarettes because, like, I need a break. I've been working and y'all get to chill and smoke a cigarette, which is crazy. But that's how I got started. And then the same thing happened when I started working with the guys I work with now. I'd been off cigarettes for 5 years, and I started working with them, and everybody light up a cigarette. And I'm like, dude, we got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm over here working and shit. They're over there just talking, smoking a cigarette.
And
I was like, man, let me get a cigarette.
I got to a point I was smoking because I was bored.
Yeah.
I was just smoking because I was bored.
Well, and there's always something, it's just like, oh, we just ate. So, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
we just had
it
sex.
becomes part of your routine. Yes. I mean, for real. Like, you just had sex. Okay. I want to go outside and smoke a cigarette. You just ate. I want to smoke a cigarette. Oh, I just cracked a beer. I want to smoke a cigarette. Like, do you want a cigarette right now?
road trips were the worst for me because I would smoke a pack of cigarettes in a 7 or 8 hour road trip.
Yeah.
That's wild. You don't need it. You just one after the other, right?
It's just boredom.
Yeah.
My dad got cancer on his larynx, on his vocal cords from smoking, and his doctor told him this is directly linked to smoking cigarettes.
Yep.
And he was like, yeah, I mean, 35 years, I've been smoking Marlboro Reds, like 2, 3, maybe 4 packs a day. Like, he's a mechanic, you know what I'm saying? But then, his doctor told him, I'll never forget, he said, nicotine is harder to quit than heroin. Yeah. It's the most addictive thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's brutal.
Most addictive thing than anything. And it's not, and nicotine obviously, is like the chemical thing to it, but like y'all are all smokers, so y'all would understand. It's like, my dad was telling me it was like, dude, it's like a routine. It's like a ritual. It's a new pack of cigarettes. Packing the cigarettes. Open the cigarettes. Like the cigarettes.
You pack them the same amount of time. So it's
Yes, like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
The
like-
thing is, though, it's so habitual.
Yeah.
You don't even count it. You
He's
just
like,
do it.
he's
same.
like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm just used to having this. I was watching a movie.
I don't have the color anymore.
Probably stained.
I don't have the stain anymore.
Finally went
Dude,
away.
I watched
yeah.
the movie Casino like 2 nights ago, right? And I was watching the movie and I was like, yo, this should be a drinking game of drink every time you see Robert De Niro smoking a cigarette in this movie. You'll be drunk by 30 minutes
for
in,
sure,
dude. This
for
motherfucker
sure,
smokes the
for sure,
entire
yeah.
fucking movie, dude.
Well, too, like our generation, I think cigarettes were starting to like the generation before us, like your generation, like I know, like I look at pictures of me of like my house when I was a kid. I just seen one the other day where like my mom and my stepdad and me and my brother are sitting there and somebody snapped a picture and like literally my mom and my stepdad have a cigarette in their hand. There's ashtrays on the fucking coffee table. You know what I'm
Everywhere.
saying? And we're chilling, watching. Like that shit was normal.
Inside.
Like you will never see that now. You know what
No.
I'm saying? And like when you were talking about road trips, like that's kind of what got me away from cigarettes and what I don't like about vaping because I got 2 kids. So like we go on a road trip and it's like I'm the type of guy when we're going on a road trip, if it's fucking less than 4 hours, like we stopping before we get on the interstate and bitch, we ain't stopping again. Like I don't want to hear that I gotta pee shit. Like you can hold it for 4 hours. I've seen you sit in your fucking room and play a video game for 6 hours and never leave that motherfucker. And now all of a sudden you gotta pee. You know what I'm saying? So like, but with cigarettes, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna drive like 50 miles, then we gonna get off and let them like. I know y'all gotta pee. Like now, I want them to pee. Like I know y'all gotta pee.
yeah.
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. But with the vape, it's like,
quiet,
you know what I
dude.
mean? Like I'll fucking
It's almost
crack
present.
the window,
They
hit
smoke-
it a
they-
couple
they smoke
times,
pretty good.
like.
But you
yeah.
see, I was never a cigarette smoker, but when
How the fuck did we get on
I don't know.
smoking?
when-
There's got to be more interesting shit to talk about.
well, the cigarette thing was weird because like all my friends smoke, my family smoke, everybody, and I never picked it up, never picked up on it. But like smoking weed, that was my shit.
Yeah.
And then like I was like,
Wait a minute, you don't smoke cigarettes, but you smoke weed.
I don't smoke weed
Well,
like that
not-
now.
yeah.
I don't like that now, but back in the day I did.
Yeah.
But it was just like this thing. Like there was actually like from a person who didn't smoke cigarettes, it was like a cool factor. Like motherfuckers over there, hey, you know what I'm saying? It's like this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I didn't have
Felt
the taste.
left out and
I didn't
shit.
have the taste for it. So I was
I
like,
got
man,
this joint.
but I got this joint though. We can smoke this joint, and everybody seemed to like. I was like, I never got the thing with cigarettes. They don't get you high. They calm you down. I guess. I wouldn't know, but like I was like, I just can't cough my face off. But like smoking reefer, that was my shit. And then as a kid, I liked it because it was like, yeah, get you high. It's fucking stupid. You make you feel silly. But like as I got older, I started realizing like all the health benefits, especially like now that there's been research to it and shit, and it's coming out. I'm like, yeah, this is like.
That's what I was about to say
Instead
about
of
like vaping is like you know I might be a ball chinny in a few years. You know what I'm saying? Grow nuts out my face.
I mean, you think about vaping. You know,
Yeah.
you're taking a liquid,
Yep.
vaporizing it, sucking it into your lungs,
Yeah.
and then when you blow it out, it's cooled down.
yeah.
You know,
We're gonna see.
Yeah.
We're gonna see a bunch of weird health things happen in the next 20
Yeah, I mean,
years.
they
Already
talk,
happened.
they
Already
talk
happened.
about
Yeah, but
popcorn
it's-
lung
it's
and all
gonna
that
get
shit.
fucking
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? Like, it's definitely
your chances of getting pneumonia are a lot more.
for sure. I know a guy. I know. I'm not gonna put his business out there, but I know a guy that like was vaping. Was one of the first people I knew that was vaping and got pneumonia. Ended up with meningitis and like. Got fucked up behind that shit, almost died. And I'm not saying, like, they never said it was vaping or not vaping, but I was just like, probably vaping. You know what I'm saying? Like,
All right, so change the subject. Change the subject.
Yeah,
we
please.
done talk about cigarettes.
What you got?
Oh, so I just came back from Gettysburg, PA, and one of the things
4 years ago.
I got to tour the battlefield. I got to tour the battlefield. I actually took friends of mine, Jasmine Kane. She's a female
What's
rock.
that? I feel Jasmine Kane. Who's her band?
Jasmine Kane band.
Okay, I've seen
So
her somewhere.
Night Booking booked her at used to be Shakers.
Okay.
And we packed about 200 people in there that night. But she's an awesome rock and roll chick out of Nashville. Has become a good friend of mine over the years. We've been friends for about 13 years.
Nice.
And really cool people. And while we were in Gettysburg, I had the opportunity to take them up because they played Gettysburg Bike Week, for 4 or 5 years, something like that. So every time they go, they always go at least a day or two early. And they go do things around Gettysburg. Well, they've seen all the sites at Gettysburg, but they had never been up to Little Round Top. Little Round Top is the scene of one of the bloodiest battles of all of Gettysburg battle. Because you had Little Round Top, Big Round Top, and Devil's Den. And it was just Little Round Top, Big Round Top. They sit up on top of a hill and look down through this valley that's just all rocks. And then you've got Devil's Den over here on the other side. Well, the Confederates had come up through the valley and had almost made it to the top of that ridge where Little Round Top and Big Round Top is. However, just minutes before, the Union had come up on the backside and occupied the ridge. Had the Union not made it to the top of Little Round Top, that battle could have gone a whole lot differently, and we could be the Confederate United States of America.
When was that war?
The Civil War?
Gosh.
Yeah.
18...
Is it 1836?
60?
Yeah, it's like the 18... I think it was, because when did Lincoln die? 1830?
1832, when did Lincoln die?
Yeah, Jeffrey could look it up for us. So we don't get fucking flagged again. I put some shit on TikTok last week, and they were like,
God.
"What about Reagan?" And I was like, "Dude, I misspoke." Like, of course I know Ronald Reagan.
I just asked when the Civil War was. We're not history buffs.
So the Battle of Gettysburg took place on, it was July 1st through the 3rd.
Okay.
1832, 1836.
I was thinking 1836. I was
Why
with
are
you.
you looking up
Nah,
history
go to
shit
Google.
on YouTube?
Yeah, don't go to YouTube. Them boys be like, "It was all a lie."
It's a conspiracy.
But either way, you can keep going.
But
He'll find the facts for us.
But it was so I'd taken them up to Little Round Top and
18 what?
65. I thought it was in the 60s. 1860s.
okay, 1865.
That's when Lincoln was shot?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was shot. Okay, he died 1865.
Damn, so he gave the Gettysburg Address 30 years before that?
No,
I think we got the Gettysburg time fucked up.
so it might be.
When was Gettysburg?
Yeah.
Well, when was the Battle of
Hey Siri. But
Little Top?
So they'd never been to Little Round Top, and so we went to dinner. Ate dinner at a house that was also part of the Underground Railroad. It was kind of cool.
That is dope.
1863.
Okay.
So I had the 3 right.
Yeah.
The 18 and the 3.
Yeah, 36, it was 63.
Yeah,
So.
1863.
Yeah, 30 years. Fuck it.
But so took him up to Little Round Top, and we actually watched the sunset.
That's
And
cool.
It was kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
But when I did the tour, the next day my wife and I, we went and did the tour of the battlefield, and we did the driving tour. So went into the museum, walked around the museum. We bought the book for $35. It had CDs in it. Plop them in the CD player, and we do the drive. And every stop we stopped at, it tells us a story about what happened at that spot in Gettysburg. And I highly advise, if kids growing up, you want to learn history, go to Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Go to Gettysburg. See what happened to our
I always
country.
feel like you could feel it. It's like palpable there.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, growing up in Charleston, we talk about this shit all the time because we'll have people come on that ain't from around here and be like, "You heard of this?" I'm like, "No, man." And we've born and raised here, like never fucking left, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So,
have you walked amongst the graves of Magnolia Cemetery?
No. But
Dude, the Civil War started here.
Yeah. But I was going. That's what I was going to bring up. Is like when I go down to like Fort Sumter and I go down to these areas where the motherfuckers were making palm trees barricades and like palm trees fucking saved our ass down here. You know what I mean? And like. I was like, bro, like, cause remember when we worked and we found cannon fodder or whatever? Yeah, the pellets, because I guess like cannonballs had like smaller balls inside of them and shit. So we used to find them at where we worked downtown all the time, and it's just like it's weird because when I go somewhere, because when I was a kid, I went to the Monticello, the Liberty Bell. We went up to Times Square. We went past Gettysburg, but we didn't like spend the day there. We went to D.C. and saw the monuments and all the war memorials and shit like that, and like I feel it there. You know, it's like weird because I know other people might come here and like
here you live it. You were born and raised here.
It doesn't.
It's part of your fabric.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know?
That's kind of how it is.
It's just something that we just take for granted. Honestly, I do.
Yeah.
There's so much history here, and I just don't.
Nah, you got to go. You go somewhere else. Like you go to Egypt and you'll come back and be like,
"Did you
know that in Egypt?" And then everybody that comes here is like, did you know that this is where fucking...
Yeah, this is one of the biggest slave markets here in South Carolina.
Francis Marion signed the fucking Declaration of Independence right here. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's the thing about Charleston is it's not only Civil War, it's Revolutionary War.
Yes, yeah.
It's part of the first 13 colonies, isn't it?
Yeah. We were the sixth?
I don't know. I know, but like, there's a lot of history downtown that I just...
We're going to get... I'm not going to make Jeff look everything. I feel like we were the sixth colony, though. Let's go.
But I mean, there's the history of Charleston is amazing.
Yeah. So how did like Saliva, Drowning Pool, who else you say, Pop Evil, get involved with
Jasmine
this, like,
Cain?
So like what were you at? It's the Gettysburg.
So it's at the All-Star Complex in Gettysburg, PA, and it's Gettysburg Bike Week, and it's the second weekend in July, and so you know. Sometimes it falls like right after 4th of July. Last year it was like the 6th, so it was like I was in Gettysburg for the 4th of July last year.
Nice.
This year it was a few days later, so it was pretty cool. But it's a big complex. They got a huge building. Years ago it used to be a happening spot. It had golf cart. It has go-kart tracks. Out in the front of it, indoor it had batting cages out back, just a huge outdoor event type space. But this was the 13th year, I believe, of Gettysburg Bike Week, and man, what a show! Probably one of the best rallies I've ever been to. There we go.
Yeah,
there we go. You can see a little bit about what Gettysburg is about.
Cool.
Up on the TV and. Really just an awesome time. Great people. Everybody that comes to Gettysburg is having a good time.
So everybody y'all ride up there?
I'm about to say, do they ride the bikes up there?
Yeah. A lot of people ride bikes there. Gettysburg draws, they draw people in from New York, all in the Northeast and North Central. So you'll get, Ohio, Indiana.
Fuck the Yankees. No, I'm just kidding.
You'll probably find more rednecks in Pennsylvania than you will here in South Carolina. I can assure you that.
That's kind of how I felt when we went to Ohio. We went to Ohio and I was like, we're up north and them motherfuckers.
A lot of Amish bitches in there.
The Amish mafia.
Do you ride up there or you don't ride?
Oh, I ride up there.
Yeah,
I ride up there. No. Well, this time, so we had to take my mom who lives with us. We had to take her to West Virginia, drop her off at her granddaughter's house, or great-granddaughter's house.
Gotcha.
And she stayed the week, and then my wife and I, we drove over to Gettysburg this time. But I've rode my motorcycle up there many times.
Yeah. What do you ride?
I got a 2014 Harley-Davidson Street Glide.
Street Glide, yeah.
Street Glide. But mine's not like stock. I got a 21-inch fat tire on the front, custom. I got 12-inch bars, custom seat.
My dad's a biker too. Like he used to be. He sold all his shit after he had his TBI, traumatic brain injury. But
I wear a helmet now. I've seen too many people around here getting.
Dude, he fucked himself up on a 4-wheeler.
Yeah.
He's got one of them badass hunting 4-wheelers that go 100 fucking miles an hour for no reason. It's like, dude, you're hunting deer. Why do you need a fucking 1100 cc fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like you could just walk into the woods and shoot one if you want, but you know how the guys are, man.
Yeah.
But he fucked himself up. I was there. Mason Jar was going to perform. We were on the way to Virginia, and my dad lives in North Carolina, so we stopped by there, and the moonshine was flowing and all that. 2 a.m. He hopped on his 4-wheeler and was like, come on, y'all want to ride this thing? I was like, Dad, put that shit up. And then 5 minutes later, was getting fucking airlifted. You know what I'm saying? It was a bad time.
How's he doing today?
He's good now. He's back to work, Fucking, it took him a solid year to recover.
That's good.
But, his fucking Dynaglide and his fucking Fat Boy and his Softail. He had 3 of them, and one of them Screaming Eagle, pipes, the whole fucking set. Badass bike, but had to get rid of all of them because he could ride, but after that, my stepmom was like, "Nah, hell no. You ain't getting on no shit like that no more."
I think my dad drives a street.
I was gonna buy it, but he wouldn't sell it to me after that shit happened. He was. I tried, nah, dude.
My dad should.
You got kids and shit.
My dad's got I think he has a street glider too. If I seen it, I could probably recognize it. It's either street glide or dying glide. But I was like, "Hey man, what's up, man? Maybe leave that.
Difference between the street glide and Dynas don't have big fairings on the front. Street glide has a big old fairing on the front.
Yeah,
it's what they would call a geezer glide.
He's probably got a Dynaglide then.
Yeah.
I was like, "What's up, man? Let me get that in your wheel." He's like, "You don't belong on 2 wheels."
Yeah. No, that's what my dad said. He was like, he started riding. I mean, he's always rode, but he's because he had a bike when I was younger too, but he kind of put him away until we were like older, 18-ish, you know what I'm saying? And then he started riding heavy again. Now that I got smaller kids, he was just like, you can go buy one yourself, but I'm not selling you one of mine. You die on one of mine, I'll never fucking forgive myself.
My parents, they didn't like me to, they wouldn't let me have a gun, so I couldn't go hunting as a kid. I had to wait till my brother, one of my oldest brothers, grew up and got out of the house, and he'd come back to go hunting, so then I could go hunting with him. But I couldn't have a motorcycle either as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
So then I joined the military right out of high school, and just too busy. I got right into raising a family, and didn't have a motorcycle then. Then moved here to South Carolina, and I'm like, I want a motorcycle. And the
weather calls for it.
Yeah. And so I ended up buying a Yamaha when I moved here, and that was my first motorcycle. And got my permit, got my motorcycle. First thing I did on the first weekend I had off, I took off, and I spent 2 whole days on a motorcycle. Didn't do the rider safety course. Didn't do none of that. Thought it was cool. I didn't have to wear a helmet. And rode the Yamaha for a couple years, and then I jumped onto my Harley, and I actually bought my first Harley was a 2005 Harley Street Glide. Nice. And customized it, and I actually rode it all over the country. In 2011, myself and 3 other veterans, we did a ride around the United States where we raised over $36,000 for homeless veterans.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
My first time on a Harley, I wrecked it. Harley Sportster, dude. Fucking my Uncle Dean was like, "You can ride this, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I can ride this thing." He's like, "Are you sure?" Like, "Fuck yeah, I can ride this thing." I couldn't ride that shit. I drove probably 20 yards and I fucking dumped that shit over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you grew up around bikes, your dad.
Yeah, my dad was a biker. All my uncles, all his brothers were bikers. They rode and shit.
His dad rode with the Angels down here a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He wasn't an angel, but he rode with them. Yeah. Like, was it FOF or?
Yeah, he's a hang around.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
Friend of the family.
Known associate, I think is what they refer to.
Yeah, for sure. You couldn't fuck with him, but he's not exactly a guy.
He's not a guy you can't hit.
but he's
not all the way. He's I say you hit
him. Yeah. Nah, but you know what? Like Harleys, I know are like prestige. Like you have to have one if you're a true biker or whatever. But you know what I fuck with is those Suzuki Boulevards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like when they're done up nice, those are nice fucking bikes, dude.
Shadows,
I really like the way they look.
Buddy,
I love Sportsters. Like people put Sportsters together, they look really fucking nice. But I'm too big for one. You know what I'm saying? I can't be on.
I want a Honda Shadow.
Monkey fucking a football on a Sportster.
Yeah, I'm fucking 6'2", 220.
I told myself I'm gonna get a bike, and I told him my first one's gonna be a bobber.
See, you can fit a Sportster though. Or a bobber. Like you're the size for that. Like you would look good on it. If I get on a fucking bobber, dude, it's like, my feet gonna be dragging.
I got a 72 iron head Sportster. So the first motorcycle I ever remember was my aunt and uncle showing up at our house on a 72 iron head Sportster, and it was custom. And I swore, from the time I was a little kid, first time I saw it, I said I'm gonna get me a motorcycle just like my uncle's. A few years ago, I had the opportunity. I spent $2,000 and I bought this 72 iron head motorcycle from one of the owners of Suck Bang Blow in Myrtle Beach.
Suck Bang Blow.
And
God, I've wanted to perform there for so long, and then we've been like in talks and almost got there a few times, and it just never worked out.
Y'all put on a good show.
I think so, man. Like people would love that shit.
Oh yeah.
Not to cut you off. It was just you brought that up, and I was like, Motherfucker. I almost pimped my sister-in-law out for that shit. Like, where's the owner, man? Go find, go get us in there.
I'll tell you what. One thing I learned. So I worked at Suck Bang Blow. I was the MC for about 5 years of Suck Bang Blow. So I started working in the motorcycle industry after I came back from Iraq, and I started out at the Beaver Bar there in Murrells Inlet. The Beaver Bar.
Yeah.
When you say the Beaver Bar, everybody laughs. The Beaver.
Strip club bar.
Well, the lady that owns it, her last name's Beaver. That's why
so it's not what you think.
It's not what you think. Her name's Beaver, so it's the Beaver Bar.
It's not a titty bar.
Nope. Oh. Nope. Yeah, it can be. I mean it's bike week.
Titties everywhere.
When it's bike week, you're liable to see a lot there at the Beaver Bar. Same thing about Suck Bang Blow. But I've had the opportunity in Myrtle Beach. I've worked Beaver Bar, Suck Bang Blow, and Spokes and Bones Saloon. I've actually emceed all three of the major rally spots in Myrtle Beach. Nowadays, I like to go to Myrtle Beach and party myself. So,
How does one get into the MC game? Somebody just says, "Hey, you got a great voice here. Here, fucking grab this microphone. Tell people come to the front. Come to the front."
I happened to be there, and I was working with a guy that had a calendar, and it was all about my photography business. It was all about babes and motorcycles,
right.
And of course we're selling these calendars at the rally, and I'm talking to people, and I've talked to get up on a microphone pitching our calendar to people, And it turned into, hey, you've got a good voice. Why don't you, come give this a try?
You do got a good voice.
Yeah.
So, it happens like that, though. I mean, I've been to, for instance, 5 weddings where I've, just came to the wedding. I'm just chilling, and somebody handed me a microphone. It's like, you got to say something. You gotta bless the food. You got to give a groomsman speech. You got to give the best man speech. You got to talk about the bride and groom. I've been at dinners and people are like, hey man, you got to say something, you're the guy. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's part, you have a good voice, but it's part you're hanging out. If you're at if
personality.
Your personality. You're hanging out with a bunch of dudes and they're like, hey man, we need to get everybody up to the front. It's like, Gene, you go say that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, you can command a microphone and you can take control of the situation.
Yeah, some people the microphone makes
fall into it.
Some people get really nervous behind this microphone.
A lot of times I don't need a microphone. I can't whisper. Yeah, I can't whisper.
Yeah.
I mean, you know me. I
never had an inside voice.
I don't.
Well, that's what I was telling you earlier when he was like, "Yo, who's Gene?" And he just texted me, but I wanted to tell him I mean, you would recognize him maybe because he's been to a lot of our shows. And I'm like, he's brought us on stage fucking 10 times probably for the Battle of the Bands, for Shakers, not Battle of the Bands, but you brought us on quite a few times, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you always do a good job at that shit, you're like, these guys, you know what I mean? He's one of them guys that once he, for instance, earlier we were standing in my kitchen, and you were talking, and there was times where you were trying to figure out, you were like, what was I thinking about? What was I doing? But as soon as we got up here, dude, you haven't missed a beat. You know what I'm saying? It's once you give the motherfucker a microphone, everything's
click.
That's where you're at home.
Unlike Biden. No,
United States.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Right.
Jill, help me answer the questions, Jill.
Keep going, bro.
So I don't know if you're a fan of Kill Tony. Do you know what Kill Tony is? Does anybody know what Kill Tony is? I ain't gonna talk about it then. But basically, there's this fella by the name of Adam Ray, and he does he's like a comic. He's a stand-up comic, but he does impersonations, and he dives deep into these characters, and he does a great Dr. Phil.
Yep.
So he's always been known for doing Dr. Phil, but lately he's been doing Joe Biden. Dude, they dress him up, and I don't know. Do you know who Shane Gillis is? Oh man, Shane Gillis,
comedian.
Another comedian, but he does an excellent Donald Trump. So they had a Kill Tony thing that they came out with. They dressed Shane Gillis up as Donald Trump and Adam Ray up as Joe Biden, and they just sit there and dude, it is fucking comedy gold, dude.
Well, anytime you get a good comedian that can do an impersonation of,
it's an elite talent.
Oh yeah.
I truly believe to do impersonations is an elite talent.
I can't. I can't do it.
So
I can't even speak Spanish. I can't roll my tongue.
I hear you. So you did you did a bit in Iraq. So you joined straight out of high school. Did you?
I did.
How many years did you serve?
I did 12 years active duty, then I did another 10 years in government contracting.
Okay. So it's
22 years.
All goes,
22 years.
All
Damn,
goes
bro.
towards 22 years
service,
of military service. That's good shit.
Pretty
bro.
much. My contracting years, I would spend like 2 or 3 weeks at home, working in an office, writing technical manuals. I worked in the development of new equipment for the military. Yeah. And then I would go and travel for 2 or 3 weeks, and I would go out and teach soldiers how to install, operate, and maintain the new equipment that we were working with the government on.
Nice.
So,
what branch?
Mostly Army. I was Army. I was I was an engineer mechanic.
Gotcha.
And in the 12 years that I was active duty, I only worked one time in my actual job. I was in an aviation unit. I was in an infantry and armored unit. I'm an engineer mechanic. I fix bulldozers, road graders, scrapers, construction equipment.
Right.
But these other units, they had forklifts and they had cranes. Well, you got to have an engineer mechanic to work on forklifts and cranes.
Gotcha.
So I ended up in a aviation maintenance unit in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Infantry and armored unit in Germany, who I went to Desert Storm with in 1990-91. We landed in Saudi Arabia, December 24th, 1990. Bob Hope's plane landed 5 minutes after ours.
Damn.
So we are disembarking our plane, and we're watching as Bob Hope's plane's coming down the runway, taxiing in, which I thought was kind of cool. That's the closest I ever got to seeing Bob Hope.
That's it. Was it like? Have you ever seen the movie Three Kings?
Three Kings. I think I have.
Mark Wahlberg, Ice Cube, and George Clooney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they're in the Gulf War.
Yep.
Yeah. Was there any realisticness to that?
There's always some realisticness in the movies.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
How old were you when you got married the third time?
Good way to go, Jeffrey.
You
earned it tonight, dude. Dude, this shit is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I've got a good feeling this
Turn
one's
this
gonna
up.
work.
Turn this up.
Come on, man.
I have hopes. I'm joking. No chance.
Now, is this one wanting to settle down too? Does she want kids?
Can we show this on our shit?
Okay.
Our podcast,
I'm going to give you a small joke book, Bruce, and congratulations. You got pulled out of the bucket. You were here on Kill Tony. You were here.
This is
Bruce.
one of the greatest
you were here.
shits ever. Dude.
There goes Bruce McElderry, everybody. We got a lot of bombs tonight so far with the 2 U.S. presidents. I guess that's fitting. A country shit. There's a straw. Whoa,
Wrestler,
Mr. President,
wrestler.
What are you doing with the straw? Oh, is that how you use it?
That's not
no.
he's supposed to be Biden.
Listen, dude. Okay. Like I said downstairs, I don't study politics, but I know a senile old man when I see one, dude.
Kamala.
That guy's a fucking... To think that he's gonna do it for another 4 years, get the fuck out of here.
Well, you said you moved to South Carolina. So where are you originally from?
I'm one of those born and raised in Ohio.
Ohio.
I'm one of those. You know, the whole
else was from Ohio?
The whole website. Go back to Ohio.com.
Dog, we tried to figure this shit out. Who was on here that was from Ohio? Shit. We'll have to look back. But we tried to figure this shit out. I was like, I think it's because, is it 77 that runs like straight to fucking Ohio?
Yeah.
I think that like people get on the interstate and they're just like, we're getting as far away from this
95 exit. They missed the 95 exit.
They're like, we're getting as far away from this fucking place as we can. Like, make me a bird so I can fly far, far away.
We drove to Cleveland one time. It's a ride.
It's a fucking ride.
Why'd you go to Cleveland?
Because
we
were in the music biz and we met some people in Ohio and they were like, hey man, we're having a 420 concert shit. It was actually really fucking cool.
I just saw, what is it? Is it Foreigner? Foreigner is finally being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
They should be, man.
What the fucking holdup is, dude? Didn't they do Eye of the Tiger? Is that Foreigner or is that Journey? Is that Steve Perry sing
Journey? Journey.
Who sing? What does Foreigner sing?
Foreigner.
Lots of love songs.
Sure, they don't.
They sing.
Do they sing "Baby Come Back"? No, that's the Players.
Man, Foreigner. Look, we're talking about them.
Don't ask.
They
Look,
should
I'm not in the
be.
music. I'm not in the music
Dude,
industry,
the
so I don't know.
Foreigners sing "Eye of the Tiger." I
Yeah,
ain't
they
tripping.
do. They do. Yeah, they do. And yeah,
Survivor that sings it. Damn, what does Foreigner sing?
all that shit right there.
I thought they sang that song.
They sing "Eye of the Tiger." Yeah. Oh, Survivor does.
Yeah,
I thought it
Survivor's
was Foreigner.
Eye of the Tiger.
Okay, Foreigner sings bum, 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 I wanna know what love is.
Want you to show me.
Yeah, that's the one. That's their best shit right there.
Yeah.
Play that real quick. That intro goes fucking super duper.
Yeah, I love this ad, dude. It's my favorite ad.
Yeah. Look at her. Look at her. She's building shit. What you built? Yeah.
Bad reputation. Sacrifice our love. Early 80s, late 70s? When do you think this
That's
song came
gotta be
out, dude?
70s. Look at
That's
that.
Late
70s.
70s?
Yeah, that's like 77.
79, I'm going to say.
You know 77 is like 69, but it's two guys.
That's wrong.
They call that space
wrong.
docking.
Space docking.
Penis joust.
77. Let me go.
said
Let me
70.
let me go.
Yeah.
I
Let
said
this
70.
man
Ding,
cook.
ding, 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 ding.
I said 79. Yeah, fuck out of here, foreigners.
So Ohio.
Go back
so
to
you,
Ohio.
Yeah. So born and raised in Ohio. Joined the military right out of
Right
high
out
school.
of Ohio.
Yep, right out
That's
of Ohio.
how bad Ohio sucks.
I wanted out. I wanted out. Did my first tour in Germany, and went to Desert Storm with that unit in Germany,
Gusenberg.
and I loved it. What'd you say?
Gusenberg, yeah.
Gusenberg?
I don't know
Where in the hell that is? I have no
don't know
idea.
if it's a real word.
I was
Just made up some German shit.
I was in a town called Aschaffensburg. It's about 30 miles from Frankfurt.
Okay.
I hear Germany's beautiful.
Oh, it is.
Is it?
Gorgeous country.
Yeah, I've been.
Go down to the.
Is that where they, or is it, Germany's where the
Bavaria?
girls wear with the tits with the things all out and they serve lots of beer and shit?
Yep, Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Oktoberfest.
That's right. There's a place in Dublin, Georgia. Have you heard about this?
Uh-huh.
It's like, have you heard about this? In Dublin, Georgia, they got a little town that's set up like a little German town where they host Oktoberfest, and it's like
Helen, Georgia.
legit. It's Helen, Georgia. That's
Helen,
why, why am
Georgia.
I saying Dublin? It's Helen, Georgia.
Helen, Georgia.
It's yeah, they it's like a legit like German town, dude. It's
Hell
fucking
yeah,
looks super
that
dope. I
sounds
think my
cool.
sister's going there in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Shit. Let's go.
Georgia. Yeah,
I like beer and I like German tits.
you're an equal opportunist.
I don't discriminate.
Big titties, little titties,
Big titties, just serve me a beer, damn it.
round
Yeah.
titties, as long as they're not flat
Round
titties.
titties, long
Yeah.
titties, all them titties.
I don't know. Kind of get.
Is this it? Is it Helen, Georgia? Dude,
Oh, there we
Jeffrey
go.
is on it tonight, dude.
Yeah, he's
is
not
Jeffrey
playing,
doing
dude.
his thing or what, bro?
Hell yeah, dude. Let's go.
You gotta dress like a fucking yodeler to live there and shit. Dress like you're in a fucking Ricola commercial.
Get you some schnitzel.
Some schnitzel. Ricola.
That's a whole different. I
Schnitzel.
think
would
that's
you- what would you
Ricola
say,
is
like-
Swedish. I think.
Is it Swedish?
Yeah.
Oh, I fucked that up.
Ricola. No, that's Dutch, isn't it? Is it Swedish? I don't know. So what would you say is like best parts of the military, worst parts of the military? Like,
Best
I'm
parts
curious
of the
about
military?
this.
No,
because
best
I don't think
parts-
we've had some military guys,
curious
but
about this.
like,
best parts of the military travel.
Yeah.
Took me all over the world.
Nice.
Worst part of the military, being cold in the middle of Grafenwehr, Germany.
ugh,
So Grafenwehr is this military post, and that's where you go and do all your live fire training. And of course, 9 times out of 10, you're not sleeping in a building; you're sleeping in a tent. And of course, you always go to Grafenwehr in the wintertime. And icy, cold, just miserable time. But you stay in a tent and you go out and shoot on a range. Stay in a tent, go out and shoot on a range. Stay in a tent, go out and shoot on a range. That's all you do. Excuse me.
yeah, you're good.
That's smoking. I still got a little bit of it.
Lingering.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, a little bit of a lung coming up, you know.
Good thing you got 2 of them.
But Grafenwehr, Germany. If you ask anybody in the Army, they'll say, "What's the biggest suck?" If they've spent time overseas, they're going to say Grafenwehr, Germany.
Yeah,
Place is miserable.
it's meant to be that way. That's why they send you
Yeah,
there to
yeah,
see if you can cut it. I guess.
But it's just, you're going to go do live fire exercises. You're going to Grafenwehr, Germany to do it. It's always going to be in the wintertime, and it's going to be freezing cold.
Damn.
So as
Fuck
far as
that
benefits
shit.
go, so we know a couple people in the military. I've heard a lot of people complain about like the VA, right? They'll be like, "Oh man, the VA sucks, this and that and that and this," and I'm sure that sucks and all of that, but there are a lot of major benefits that come with the military, right?
There is
free school.
It's not free school. It's not free. You actually contribute in your paycheck towards that education.
Okay, well, I had that fucked up.
But the military covers most of it.
Right.
They'll take money out of your paycheck towards your education. At least when I was in. It may be different now. But yeah, education, doctors. I'm what they call a 30% disabled veteran, so I'm service connected disabled.
Okay.
30%.
Right.
So I get a paycheck every month. I'm entitled to medical care for my injuries that I sustained while I was in the military at the VA. Surprisingly, I actually had a call today from my VA doctor. A couple weeks ago, I come back from a trip, and the wife had made dinner. I decided to lay down on the couch. When I went to stand up, I couldn't see. She took me to the emergency room right here at Somerville Medical, and my blood sugar was like 368.
Damn.
What's unhealthy? Like what's the
over like 190.
Oh yeah, he was in bad shape.
Double almost.
Yeah, double. They say it gets up 700-800. You're critical.
You're looking down the barrel. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. But so 368. I was high. It was dangerous, but not. I wasn't extreme.
All right.
They put me on some medicine, gave me some fluids, got my blood sugar back down, and sent me home. I got a phone call just the other day, and then I got another phone call today from my doctor at the VA. I saw you were at the emergency room. The VA. Doctor at the VA. Calling to check on me because I'd been to an emergency room that's not a VA emergency room, but he's following his patients.
Nice.
Checking on his patients.
Good to know.
And he called me today. He said, "Have you been checking your blood sugar?" "Yes, sir." "Are you taking your medicines?" "Yes, sir." Because my wife is making me do it.
That's a good one. Shout out, Mrs. Smiley.
Yeah.
So how long have you been out?
I've been out since 2001.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've been out for a while.
I got out, so 9/11. That was
Right.
9/11, 2001.
Yeah, I was around.
My official end date was April 1st, 2001.
Okay. Did they have the don't ask, don't tell thing going on?
Yes,
then?
yes, that had already started.
So you got out pre 9/11.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Do you have
by a few months.
Do you have any
Yeah.
thoughts on the don't ask, don't? Because it's gone fucking a little crazy from what I understand.
You know what? I honestly don't give a shit.
I don't either.
I don't give a shit.
I don't ask, I don't tell.
I really don't. I was just curious because
I've got my beliefs.
Sure.
I don't care.
But if you want to serve your country, then serve
Yep,
your country.
serve your country.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not my place to judge you. You don't judge me.
Right.
And we go on about our
Yeah,
business.
yeah,
cool with that.
yeah.
I'm cool.
Well, I mean, in this short time of this podcast, but I mean, I've lived a long life on this earth. Anytime I've talked to military guys, like 90% of them are like, they fought, their friends died, they got hurt, they've done shit that they wish they hadn't had to do or hadn't had to seen, and it was all because
I've seen a lot of bad shit.
Right, and it's all because you wanted people to be able to have that freedom to choose what they want to be and choose if they want to serve, if they don't want to serve, if they want to be this way or that way. You know what I mean?
What bothers me though is today's times. I didn't serve my country. My brothers before me that go all the way back. You go all the way back to the Civil War. But World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, all these wars that we've been in, those people paid an ultimate price.
That's right.
They sacrificed their lives. They volunteered. They volunteered to do it. Now, when I was in high school, we still had the go to war, go to jail. You break the law, you get in front of the judge. Judge says, "Well, you got one of two choices. I can put you in jail for 3 years, or you go serve in the military." And we had a lot of criminals in the military back. I was pretty much about the end of that, but I joined the military. We still had the Jeep, the old Army Jeep. We still had the old Army Jeep, and so saw a lot of change happening in the time while I was in the military. But
somebody told me, and I don't know if it's factual, but someone told me, like, I think it's in Israel. Everybody has to serve 2 years in the military.
Yes, Germany's the same way.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I wanted you to finish your point because you were starting to say that, like, because I was like, people fought and died for what they believe, and for you to have the freedoms to do this or that. But
you know what?
But what's happening now?
I'm not happy with flag burning.
Yeah.
I mean, people that burn the flag.
I ain't with that.
I'm not with that. I get it. That's your freedom. That is your freedom under the United States Constitution. The First Amendment gives you the right to do that. I don't agree with it though.
I strongly disagree with it.
I don't agree with it.
I agree with your right to do it. I think me and you are standing on the same step.
Yep.
I agree with your right to say and do whatever you please, but what the fuck, dude?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
In this country, like you can say all you want. This is the greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
Not going too political, but yeah, okay, we're gonna go political. I voted for Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump.
Me too, twice.
Yeah, absolutely. Voted for him twice.
Only president I've ever fucking voted for. Straight up.
I believe we needed somebody to run our country that was a businessman, and it just so happened Donald Trump was that man.
I'm with you.
If Donald Trump was a Democrat, I would have voted for him.
I might have followed you into the booth.
Just so happens he was a Republican. Actually, it wasn't but a couple years before Donald Trump was actually a Democrat.
Yeah.
And
He's always been a
and he
Democrat.
switched parties.
Yeah.
So everybody on the left in the Democrat Party, Oprah and Al Sharpton and all the all the people on that side of the aisle, even Hillary Clinton, they come here, Donald. They wanted to be arm in arm. They wanted pictures with Donald Trump. He's a billionaire. They all wanted his money.
That's right.
But when he raised his hand and said, "I'm going to run for president," they all jumped ship and let's bury the man because he's not part of the system.
Yeah, it's definitely I've witnessed the change in the way that he is portrayed in the media and things like that, But as far as people being like freedoms and stuff like that, what really gets under my skin sometimes is like when people demean the military and servicemen and women of our country for fighting for us, even though like some people be like, oh, you went and fought for that guy that, we're over there for oil. We're over there for this. And like Danny, when he was on Danny Cruz, Major Danny Cruz, shout out Danny. When he was on, like he put it in a real way that I enjoyed was like, I went over there with my brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they came home with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that every time I left on a fucking mission, that's all I cared about was getting them home and protecting the people that I left to, the people that were with me came back home, and the people that were back home that didn't come with me were protected, and nobody came in on our lines and did that. So I think that our country's gotten into a space where it's like cool to hate America and things that benefit America and things that are like good for us, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one thing that I don't like. Regardless of your political party or who you're fucking voting for or anything like that, it's just like, bro, like we're all we're Americans, and like it's the greatest country in the world. It's the only country in the world where you can say the shit you're saying. Try to go to fucking try to wake up tomorrow and be, try to wake up tomorrow and be an Iraqi and fucking go out in the middle of your shit and burn an Iraqi flag and say fuck Iraq, dude. That shit'll last a minute, if that. Your neighbor will fucking kill you.
Try to go over to Iraq and suck somebody's dick, like if you're a dude.
They
walk off a building.
They walk up to you and put a bullet in your head.
Drag you behind a fucking truck, dude.
Absolutely.
You know what? Having spent some time in Iraq, the Iraqi people, they were not afraid of a rifle. But the second you put your hand on your pistol on your hip and click it, the safety, to pull it out, you should see them. They change. They'll tell you everything under the sun.
I wonder why.
Because it's known for taking them out.
Damn it.
That's their biggest fear is being put on their knees and having a pistol put to their head. That's their biggest fear.
Because
that's how the regimes over there handled them.
Yeah, you ain't gonna waste a fucking $3 bullet. You waste a fucking
50-cent bullet.
50-cent bullet. You know?
But I mean, that was their biggest fear. And finding, my last 2 years in Iraq, I worked as a civilian mechanic embedded with the special forces teams. So my job was to make sure that the vehicles that they were traveling in brought them back. They got out, did their job, and came back. And I got to see some things. I lost a few good friends over there.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
It sucks.
I can only imagine.
But it takes a price. It's a price.
Would you, being that you've gone through everything, would you encourage anybody to serve in that?
Oh, absolutely. It made a difference in my life. Look, I graduated high school. I did my last 2 years in Votech, so I took welding in Votech. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to go to college. I was not going to college. But I mean, I had a rough, not really a rough job. They called me a hellion.
You're from Ohio.
I was in trouble all the time, and school was no different. So when I graduated high school, I joined the military, and man, it made a difference in my life.
Made a man out of you?
It did. It made a man out of me.
So I go back to my question about the 2 years of service. Do you think that it would not be a detriment to our country to make people serve at least a year?
So you either serve, well, year ain't going to do it because you got basic training and you got your advanced
2 years, 4 years,
your advanced school. I think a minimum of 3 years. Minimum of 3 years with the option to turn it into a career. You do 3 years, you're going to get at least 2 years of college paid for. So you do your 3 years military service. You can do college while you're in the military, or after you get out of the military. We'll give you at least an associate's degree. How's that?
It's good.
2 years.
I didn't serve military, but I did go to a military school.
Yeah.
I went to the Citadel here, and them guys take that shit serious.
That's probably one of the finest military academies in the world.
I didn't partake in any of the military shit. I mean, they take the duty, honor, respect thing very, very serious there. But like, you see it, like the young kids that are there, like the ones that are wanting to go into the military. Well, you
and
can
use that Citadel.
You can go there and be a jerk off. Like, you can literally go there as a young kid and just get through and just say, hey, I went to the military. But there are people there that are like, yo, I'm about this military shit.
But it's still a college.
Very much so.
It's still a college.
And they follow tradition.
Yep.
They follow tradition.
I believe everybody graduating high school should do the military. If they don't do the military, they need to serve in the EMS, fire department, police.
I say they need to do 2 years and working in a restaurant or fucking retail service and learn to not be a shitty person in public. Dude.
Don't do that to me, bro. I'm tired
don't
of these
don't
fucking
nobody fucking deserve to be screamed at in a motherfucking restaurant.
I like that you expounded upon it and extended it to EMS and like all that type of things, because I just think public service should be a necessity for people coming out of high school.
It teaches you duty, it teaches you honor, it teaches you country.
That's what we're lacking. We're lacking a lot of like responsibility, discipline, and respect, and what it takes to like, it's easy to sit behind a fucking keyboard and be like, fuck that guy, fuck this person, fuck your policies, fuck your thoughts, your beliefs, and all that. But it's totally different to pull up to a fucking crash scene and be like, you don't know anything about this person, but they're unconscious and you got to resuscitate them. You know what I'm saying? And like, or, you're serving next to somebody that's black and you've never been around a black person, or they're Asian and you've never been around an Asian person, and both of y'all got to keep each other safe today. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, fuck all the cultural bullshit, all the media that told me to hate you and not like you, and it doesn't matter what we believe right now.
We're one team.
Yeah,
we're one team.
You have a gun, we have a gun, and they have guns. Like, both of us have to get home safely. So,
do y'all know who Immortal Technique is? I know you do.
Yeah,
he's a rapper from like the early 90s, mid 90s. He's a dude from New York. I think he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
he made a very good point to us, and I've heard it said in many other ways, but there's definitely a divide in the country, whether it be racial, political, spiritual, religious, whatever.
I would agree with that.
But
When did that start?
I don't know. But if a spider the size of this bedroom were to land in this room and there were 5 or 8 different races in this room, it wouldn't matter who believed what. Kill this motherfucker. And that's what, kind of going to your point, that's what we need. We need that unity to fucking be like, yo, we have problems. We need to solve them like they're a fucking 20-foot spider that we have to attack.
It's like two brothers. They will go to the ends of the earth to kill each other.
Ain't that some shit?
But they're brothers. Let somebody fuck with one of them, and now you're dealing with both of them.
My sister was the meanest. Let me tell you something. My sister was the meanest bitch you ever met in your life. She was mean to me, but wasn't nobody else allowed to be mean to me. She'll skin somebody alive, dude.
Well, I'll tell you like this, like to cap it off, I was talking to my boy earlier today, and because he was on vacation and we hadn't really talked about the assassination attempt and shit yet, you know. Yeah. So I was just like, man, what you think about that? You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, man, I was just like, thank God he didn't get killed, because it would have been a fucking civil war.
Civil war, dude.
And he was like, you know what? Like, that's what's wrong with our country right now, because you and I.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
But you and I both know, like, that if he would have died, it would have caused the fucking civil war. And there's been no other time in America that's been like this, because whenever anything else happened, 9/11, Reagan, Kennedy, like it brought us together. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It brought us together when shit like that happened. We were like, okay, this is fucked up. We're Americans. You know what I'm saying?
20-foot spider.
But this is the first time in, like, I can remember. I'm only 37, but I probably need to ask people that are older and wiser and more experienced than me. But this is the first time in my life that I felt like if he would have died, then it would have been a fucking uprising. It wouldn't have been like, let's all band together and figure this shit out. It would have been like, let's fight each other. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So the last time we had anything major happen in our country, which was 9/11, y'all were teenagers.
Yeah, I was in 9th grade.
10th grade.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, you know it, but now that you're adults, something as detrimental as an assassination attempt. I mean, I was a kid when Reagan was the attempted assassination on Reagan, and I can picture that in my head still today. But I was just a kid,
right?
And so reliving things in my head with, you know, Reagan, and then 9/11, you know, just a lot of things, and then this happening with Donald Trump. I really don't care for Donald Trump. I give two shits. I respect him. I voted for him twice. I think he's what our country needed. I believe he is God and country first. He is family. All the shit that people talk about him, it's everything's taken out of context.
Yeah. Because
you can go back and you can find the videos to where they pull this stuff from, that the mainstream media pulls this shit from. It's all bullshit.
Right.
It's bullshit. Donald Trump he's not a politician. Was never a politician. But he's a billionaire that stood up and said, we need to run this country like it's a business. And he did a great job in the 4 years. Imagine if the left would not have, if they would have allowed him to do his job instead of harassing him, as they did, how much better off we would be as a country.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Democrats, that would mean that Democrats have we don't have a need for Democrats because Donald Trump's a Republican. So we need to take the label off.
Yeah.
Take the label off.
Yeah.
We are Americans.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, if we're all different ethnicities here, white, black, Asian, Indian, you know what's the same? We all bleed the same color.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no difference to us other than the pigmentation of our skin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We all bleed the same color.
But so you being alive during the Reagan assassination attempt, and 9/11, did you feel like how I feel now, that like back then, did you feel like there was a divide, or you felt like people came together? Cause like,
it definitely 9/11 brought our country together.
Yeah.
And so like that's what I'm saying. Like I was. When was the Reagan assassination attempt? 86.
Yeah.
I was born in 87. So
it empowered. I graduated in 87.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was just I was
so
looking.
like,
I was
it
looking
brought
to vote.
people together. Like, what the fuck are they trying to do?
It brought the Republican Party together.
Okay.
And it brought a lot of people that didn't vote for Reagan, that weren't really, they were on the fence. It brought a lot of those people over to Reagan as well.
Gotcha.
They were more about America than they were their candidate.
Yeah.
And so,
because I'll be honest with you, and my granddad was a submariner for the Navy. My other granddad was he flew, and he wasn't a pilot, but he flew in the Army, picked up all his buddies off the fucking battleground and brought them back, brought many bodies home for their families. My uncle was a Army Ranger, so all my family's military, and they hate when I say this, but I've never voted in my life and don't intend to. You know, I don't trust the system. I don't like to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they don't care about me or us, and the average age of our Congress, our House, our Senate, our fucking presidents, or they're 30 to 40 years above me.
Yeah.
Like I can't, like, how can you know what I'm going through?
Yeah.
You don't, like, you're still making policies that are fucking 50 years old.
So here's a prime example. Here's a prime example.
I got to piss. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
Here's a prime example. Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff.
Yeah.
He's we got evidence on Donald Trump and
Yeah.
this and that. You know what? Adam Schiff was elected by 164,000 people, but he wields so much power in Congress.
That's crazy. There's 400 million people in America.
Yeah.
So what's
But somebody who was elected by 164,000 people
has that much
power. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Yeah.
But I do believe it has our inalienable right to stand up and make a difference and vote.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody in our country, in our political system that is pro America, except for maybe Donald Trump. J.D. Vance, he's a senator. He's a junior senator from Ohio, who has been picked for Donald Trump's vice president. He's the youngest candidate for a vice president. He's a Marine corporal. He wasn't an officer in the Marine Corps. He was a corporal in the Marine Corps. So he was boots on the ground. I think that's probably the best candidate that Donald Trump could have picked. Maybe Tim Scott, but I don't think Tim Scott wanted it. Tim Scott's doing a fine job as a senator. I just don't. They would have looked at Donald Trump picked Tim Scott. He picked the black man. They would have made it about the left. Would have made it about race.
Yeah, for sure.
The left would have made it about race.
Yeah.
However, I think Tim Scott was probably the best candidate for the vice presidency.
He was a token, like Donald Trump's picking the token.
Yeah.
A shoe, like yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. And I hate it. Like it sucks because, like I said, me and my grandfather fucking argued.
We can still be friends even if you're not voting.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. My granddad, like, he reamed me out for that shit because he's old school, and he was just like, bro, like, all these guys all his friends that passed away and died fighting for this country, and he served, and everybody served, and like, it's like, must be nice to just like be you and be like, I'm not gonna fucking participate. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think
I'll tell you what could make a difference.
I'm feeling charged up lately because I'm like, yo, I'm tired of everything that's going on. I'm not saying I support one candidate or the other. I mean, I can't support one. He can't support himself. But it's just the whole system to me has always been fucked since I've been alive.
Yep.
I'm only 37.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And like the whole system as far as I've been alive, like I wasn't here for Kennedy. I wasn't here for Reagan. I wasn't here for all these great fucking things that most veterans say about America. Like as long as I've been alive, America has been a fucking shit show as far as government goes. Like people.
I get that.
People to people, like all of us. Like everybody I see day to day, like we love each other, we thrive, we fucking help each other, we support each other. But the government, as long as I've been alive, has been just like, bro, what am I? I'm voting for a shot in the head or a shot in the chest. Like, where do you want your bullet? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not voting for that. I'm not like. I get to, and he's right, because I'm like complicit in what's going on, but at the same time, I get to go to bed at night, and every time something happens, like every day I wake up and I look at the news or I see shit on social media, I'm like, y'all did this shit. Like, I didn't vote for none of these motherfuckers. Like, not one.
Well, you know,
this is your fault. It's your fault. Like, if this is your candidate, it's your fault. If that's your candidate, it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? And I shouldn't be like that.
So Saturday's events, and I've sat back and I've watched. And I haven't said anything on social media, and I've sat back and I've watched. And as information's coming out, they're now saying the FBI or the Secret Service knew 60 minutes plus about this guy. They knew he was there. They had seen him with a rangefinder. You look through it to determine distance from between you and a target.
Yeah.
They knew he was there.
We know.
They knew several minutes beforehand that he was on the roof. They were ordered not to take the shot. They were ordered. Who made that call?
Them damn theys.
Yeah.
The head of the Secret Service?
Them damn theys, bro.
You know, who made the call to not take the shot? The Secret Service agent who did take the shot, I commend him. But you know what? He was fired. He was interviewed by the FBI and then fired.
Yeah.
Every report I'm seeing about the Secret Service agent who took the shot, he was fired for failure to follow a command. They were all told to stand down. Don't take the shot. Don't take the shot. You've got a sniper on a fucking roof going to take a shot at or takes a shot at a sitting president, and you're going to tell people who did have him in their targets not to shoot? Why? Because he missed? You wanted him to hit him? You wanted him dead?
Dude, does this not, for some reason...
It's scary. It's scary shit.
It's scary, but I got two thoughts on this. One, I don't feel like there's much, like, the amount of outrage that there should be behind this shit. This should be a very... Dude, like, I seen the animation of, like, where the bullet could have gone and all that shit. Like, dude, this could have been a very, very bad situation.
You think about it. It hit his ear.
Right.
Because his head was turned. It hit his ear.
Yeah.
Had his head been straight, it'd have gone right through his head.
Yeah. So that's my one thought, is I think there should be way more outrage on this shit. The other thing to it, something don't feel right. Something ain't sitting right with me with this shit.
I spoke
and
about this today.
I don't study politics or anything. I just don't know. Something just don't feel right with this shit.
There's only two things that can be possible. It's either extreme negligence or willful ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's either somebody completely fucked up at their job, and we can all say, like, okay, people make mistakes, but this is like the biggest mistake you can ever make.
What have we learned about? What have we learned?
Or you willfully did this. You willfully were negligent.
What have we learned about masks? What have we learned about what is it? The horse tranquilizer, hydroxychloroquine.
Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine.
You know, the government did everything they could to denounce these products, the hydroxychloroquine and the ivermectin. But ivermectin's been treating humans since the 70s.
Yeah, for malaria, for all kinds of
all kinds of
it's one of the
things.
Safest drugs in the world.
Yep.
Literally.
And
one of the most tested and used drugs.
And it was proven it could defeat COVID.
Yeah.
But they had to make a point to not. Why? Because, well, everybody was getting kickbacks from the pharmaceutical companies who was manufacturing the drugs. So billions of dollars went into people's pockets.
Oh yeah.
You know, thousands of people died.
Root of all evil.
Even Fauci said, "Well, the mask didn't work. We knew it didn't work. We were just throwing things at the wall to make them stick.
Cocksucker.
A mask doesn't work.
Yeah,
fucking
you know?
cocksucker.
Yeah,
Fauci.
Damn, I'm glad I didn't take that vaccine, dude. I'm so glad I wasn't one of their guinea pigs, dude.
I didn't take the vaccine. I was never going to take the vaccine.
I wasn't either.
Well, you heard me. Like I don't participate in any government funded psyops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and but like I told him, like I've been charged up to vote lately because I'm like I'm just. I don't know, you know, like I feel like I've just like kind of sat back and been like, I don't have to participate, but I feel like in this day and age, I need, like, they're making me feel like I have to participate. Like with this podcast, with my vote, with my voice, with my thoughts and beliefs and the way I raise my kids and my family, like I'm participating. Like my kid doesn't go to public school anymore. Like after his freshman year, I was like, fuck this, dude. And we went and sat down with the private school, you know, and the dude was like, yo, but there's 2 bathrooms here, bro. And like, whatever's in your pants is the bathroom you use. And I was like, all right, cool. We come in here. You know what I mean? And like, I don't hate or not against any of the shit that you want to be, but to indoctrinate people and like,
we've turned everything into a social construct.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's like a fucking psyop. And I was just like, you know, I can't just sit back, like I said about the shooter. I'm like, or not the shooter, but the Secret Service and shit. I can't just sit back and be willfully ignorant and willfully complicit in all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point you gotta be like, and they're forcing you to pick sides nowadays. You know what I mean? Like you can't. I've always been in the middle. You know, I grew up a liberal. You know what I'm saying?
Because if you don't believe the way they do, you're a racist.
Right.
That's right.
And I grew up a liberal. Like I'm a fucking rapper, for Christ's sakes. You know what I'm saying? I got dreads. I got tattoos. My mom's a fucking hippie and she's love everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like all the way I grew up was totally liberal, you know what I'm saying? But I like to, like, I want to keep my money. I don't want to be taxed the fuck out. I don't want to pay for your abortions, the 3rd or 4th or 5th one. Like, okay, I'll pay for your first one. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to pay for your 4 or 5 of them. Like, at some point, quit fucking getting nutted in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to pay for your gender changing shit. I don't want to have to fucking design the school to format your needs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want all my like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, and if I say that, then I'm far right. But I'm like, bitch, I've been on the left my whole life. Why can't I be in the middle? Like, why can't I be like,
why can't I be logical?
Yeah.
What's wrong with fucking logical?
Logical.
If you're
Rational
fucking
and logical.
2 dudes want to get married, not my business.
Don't give a shit.
Do it.
Don't give a shit. Stop being naked in front of my kids.
But
That's it.
Don't make it so I have to believe in your shit.
You know what? Somebody brought up a good point to me the other day. They were like, I know we press it on time, but everybody was like, oh, so all these, you know, they just had the thing where the people who were naked in the streets in front of kids and all that shit, and they going in and they doing drag.
Oh, that's bullshit. I saw
I
it.
disagree
That's
with that. They're doing like drag shows in front of kids. Somebody brought up this point. Why don't they never do drag shows at like old folks' homes?
Right.
Why ain't they trying to push that shit on the elders?
They are now.
Are they?
They are now. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. They're
What
taking
the
drag shows
fuck
everywhere.
is wrong with people, dude? Stop pushing. All they ever wanted to do was be accepted, right? They fought was be accepted.
No.
And I'm not standing
No,
on no hill
people
like
don't
that
want
shit.
to be accepted. People don't want to be equal.
No.
They
People want to be
compliance.
superior.
They want
Yep.
you to be compliant, and they want to be superior.
That's what I've been saying for
I
fucking
blame
ever,
social
dude.
media.
It's like nobody. People
You
don't
blame social media?
I blame social media for
absolutely.
the majority of
that's
our
crazy
problems.
y'all said
Absolutely.
that, dude. That's crazy y'all said that because I was gonna ask you because you're a little older than us. I was like, you know, one of my questions I wanted to ask tonight was like, do you feel like the internet and technology like does the good outweigh the bad? You know what I'm saying?
My 4-year-old granddaughter can take any cell phone and get to YouTube
Yeah.
and find her videos.
Good.
Yep.
Technology is great in that regard.
Sure.
But she will sit there on the couch for 6 hours, and if you let her, and that's all she'll do is she'll sit there and watch movies on YouTube.
Yeah, and if she gets your phone, it's like, oh, we put this on it. Well, you know.
My grandkids know they don't touch my phone. My phone, everything I do is on my phone. It's
right.
Having been military, being military who deals with PTSD, that's my safety blanket. My phone is my wife can't touch my phone. I will let her use my phone, you know, if we're taking pictures or something like that. But I've watched my wife beat on her phone trying to get it to do something, and when it won't do it, and she slamming it. No, you're not going to do that to my phone. It's my safety blanket.
Yeah.
But everything I do work-wise, everything I do is social media.
Yeah.
But do you feel that it has caused a detriment to the younger generation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why is that though?
I think instead of 3 years of military, you should come out of you should 5 years no phone. Go the fuck outside. Like that would be better for our kids.
I don't know, man.
What do you mean, dude?
Hear me out.
It's just
I got a good point on this. Hear me out. I want to hear your answer to my question.
We got to go.
We do. But this I'm gonna say this last thing and then we out. Dude,
we're gonna have to continue this conversation.
Our future is technology. So I agree with moderation, but like you said, your 4-year-old granddaughter could jump on a phone and get right to her shit. We couldn't do that at 4 years old, but that's their future. What we could do at 4 years old is change a bike tire.
I was 4 years. Yes,
we could change bike chains. We could do hands-on shit, and that's still very, very valuable. But our future is going technology, so it's good for our kids to be sat in front of computers. It sucks that they vegetate.
They need to have the advancement.
They veg
in technology.
out, but dude, if I need help with something, I go to my son. I go to my son's 19. I go to him. Hey man, I can't figure it out. Man, figure this out for me, and he figures it out because that's where we're going in life.
Yeah.
So it's good to have that knowledge, but it's also good to have our hands-on, semi-primitive knowledge of knowing how to fucking fix cars, knowing how to do this. But dude, the internet teaches you all of that shit too.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about that type of thing. I'm talking about as a social construct.
I say social media gives way too many people voices that didn't deserve fucking voices.
That and you can get on social media and be validated. All right,
by other stupid people.
By others,
yes.
Well, even whether good or bad. I'm not trying to So for instance, say
she was validated.
Yeah. So for instance, say your kid is you live in fucking rural Kentucky. And your kid is really into fucking ballet and shit, because they're on the internet and they're like, oh, there's so many people like me that they fucking ballet and they wear their hair like this and they do like this. But then she goes to this podunk Kentucky fucking high school or middle school and she's getting fucking picked on. But I have all these friends online, you know what I'm saying? And it's you have to adapt and learn
your
to fucking move along.
Read the room,
you know what
dude.
I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's right. It's not right that these kids can pick on you and treat you poorly, but we had to learn to fucking move with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Be like, okay, if I liked, I was into fucking Shania Twain. I'm not coming to school and telling my homeboys oh, I go home and I'm jamming fucking Shania Twain. They're gonna say I'm gay. They're gonna say I'm this, them that. And nowadays you can get online and be like, oh, there's a Shania Twain fucking boys who love Shania Twain group. It's like,
oh, there's a group for everything.
But you got to go outside at some point. You got to go to work. You got to go to school. You can't just hide in this fucking ether of the internet. You get what I'm saying? You just can't do that.
That's very good.
That's what I don't like about social media is you can go on there and hide and be like, of course there's somebody that's like you. There's 7 billion people in the world, but you still have to go into your community and be a part of it.
Stop chopping your dicks off.
Sorry,
stop telling people to chop their dicks off, dude.
Our 20-somethings.
Yeah.
On that note,
hey, this has been a great podcast,
been a good
though,
one,
man. We never go political for more than a minute or two.
Because we're fucking idiots.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like an idiot.
It's the climate though. It's social media. Look at us. We have a hip hop podcast. Mainly, it's rap. It's cool. It's cool. It's in. It's new. So we're not allowed to speak about.
No one expects you to have a belief in our political
system.
system.
No, they do, but not this type.
Normally,
we're not allowed to
from
talk to somebody like you and give you a platform to speak how you feel, and that's fucked up. I don't believe in that. I next week I might have somebody here that's Trump's a fucking idiot. He's the worst fucking person ever. I wish
I sit in on that?
I would love to have you. I would love to have you, but I would have them too.
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
if they're up here going,
it makes for a good debate.
We're not going to shut them up.
No. Nobody. I think that's what America needs right now. I think that's what the world needs is people coming together. I want to hear how you feel, how you think, especially I'm not as qualified as you to speak on America because you've served your country. You've been there. You've seen what it takes and the sacrifice that it takes. You know what I'm saying? So like it's easy for me
just
to be
like I'm not qualified to talk about rap music.
Exactly.
I haven't.
So
I
I love to have you on and talk about these things, and we've agreed on things, we've disagreed on things, we've fucking found common ground on things. Like that's what it's about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I love. So if y'all didn't like it, fuck y'all.
Fuck
Come
off.
find some common ground. But hey, thank you so much, Gene. We call him
thank you so
Smiley,
much.
man. A great dude. I guess I'm gonna have him back on because we went way over. Like obviously we were charged up. This fucking conversation went every which way it could go. So I love it. Like we always.
We got. Next time we got to just talk about motorcycle rallies.
Hey,
I can
man.
tell you
I gotta
stories
get a
about.
motorcycle.
I mean,
I can
what's-
tell you some stories about some crazy ass motorcycle rallies.
But what's the fun in that, man? You know, it's an election year, so hey, y'all get out and vote. I don't vote, but I'm gonna vote. Maybe I don't know. If you want my vote, then holla at me. No, I'm just kidding. Think harder, work smarter. If you want it to grow, just add water. It's the water pot. Peace.
Yeah.
She'll be there, a little dust on the bottle, another melody in my head, a little dust on the bottle, another melody in my head. My life a lot of pain that I don't show, loved ones turn to people that I don't know. I leave if I know I won't grow. Memory lane's a place that I just don't go. But what's the difference? We all die one day and love's a prison. I love you. If I didn't, it wouldn't hurt like fuck to miss you. That's another issue. Another birthday, another box of tissue. Vibing with the bottle like I'm talking with you. Wonder if you miss talking to me. I see you living toxic but free. If you talking, I bet the topic is me. How I'm wrong for being all I could be. I guess it's my fault. Failure's not an option for me, right? A little dust on the bottle.